Manchester United defender Wan-Bissaka is not a hot topic for West Ham United right now, according to Florian Plettenberg. The report, the 19th of July, indicates that while it seemed as if this deal was heading in the right direction, that may no longer be the case. In order for things to change, the belief is that the Red Devils may need to lower their demands. Do West Ham truly want Wan-Bissaka? In terms of what Wan-Bissaka could add to Julen Lopetegui's side, it certainly feels like it would be a positive move. After all, he's one of the best slide tacklers in the game, he's calm under pressure, and he isn't afraid to press the ball further up the pitch. Plus, with Max Kilman coming into the club alongside rumors of another centre-back signing, the new gaffer appears to be set on shaking things up at the back. It makes sense, too, given that the only teams who conceded more Premier League goals than the Hammers last season were the bottom three, PremierLeague.com. For a team like West Ham who are hoping to get back into the conversation for Europe, this could be a crucial signing. Wan-Bissaka played some of his best football in years last season, and at the age of 26, it seems like there's still a lot left in the tank. Transfer guru Fabrizio Romano has poured cold water on claims that Manchester United are struggling to sell Casemiro this summer. The Brazilian is easily United's top earner, bringing home a whopping £350,000 a week, costing United £18.2 million per year, as per Capology.com. This fact, coupled with a terrible 2023-24 season by his standards, has left the club desperate to offload him despite his immense pedigree. At 32 years of age, many believe the Brazilian's legs have gone, and so there are few parties interested in taking him on. With 2 years left on his huge contract, he is unlikely to entertain any moves where a drastic salary cut would be needed, making him very hard to shift. The most likely option is Saudi Arabia. Money is no object for the Saudi Pro League teams, and with Casemiro's friend and former teammate Cristiano Ronaldo leading the recruitment drive, there could be a strong attraction to the Middle East for the 5-time Champions League winner. There have, accordingly, been numerous reports of Saudi interest, although of late they have been rumored to have gone off the boil. However, according to Romano in his daily briefing this morning, the exit of Casemiro remains an important part of the story of United's pursuit of Manuel Ugarte. But honestly guys, I can't confirm anything regarding rumors that United are having trouble selling him. No. Interest from Saudi in Casemiro remains, but sometimes it just takes time to agree on contract, transfer fee and more. In terms of a transfer fee, it is unlikely that United will make this a sticking point, given the importance of taking his wages off the books. On the other hand, he is still a world-class player on his day and has a market value of €20 million as per Transfermarkt.com, so they would expect some sort of compensation were he to leave. One of the difficulties United face in this transaction is time. If the midfielder is to leave, the club will need to replace him, but their financial power is limited by the Premier League's profit and sustainability rules, meaning that they may well have to sell before they can buy. However, the SPL kicks off just a week after the Premier League, so any chasing clubs will surely want to tie up a deal for Casemiro fairly soon in order to give him time to settle in before the season begins. Man Utd are now willing to let winger Antony leave Old Trafford on loan in the summer transfer window, according to reports. The Red Devils have already made a number of changes since Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos completed a deal to buy 27.7% of Man Utd from the Glazer family. Omar Berrada has joined as new CEO from arch-rivals Man City. Jason Wilcox has arrived as technical director, while Man Utd recently brought to an end their long pursuit of Dan Ashworth, who joins as sporting director. The Red Devils have also made some moves in the transfer market, with Netherlands international Joshua Zirkzee coming in from Bologna and young French centre-back Lenny Yoro arriving from Lille. And now they are set to try and move on a number of first-team players, with Mason Greenwood leaving for Marseille earlier this week. Players such as Jadon Sancho, Casemiro, Scott McTominay and Harry Maguire among Erik ten Hag's players still with uncertain futures. Antony is another who has underwhelmed over the last season or two, and, following reports that they would only entertain a permanent move away from Old Trafford, ESPN now claim that Man Utd are willing to allow the Brazilian out on loan on one condition. The report claims, Misfiring forward Antony will be allowed to leave on loan if a club is prepared to cover his £70,000 a week salary. It has the feel of a clear out, but it is something United have largely resisted in recent years due to the policy of the Glazers. A source told ESPN, Joel and Avram Glazer would be happy to get rid of Wan-Bissaka or Lindelof. But they would look at the numbers and ask, how much could we get for them and how much would it cost to replace them? When they were told that it would cost half as much to keep the players until the end of their contract rather than get rid and sign a replacement, the answer would always been to keep them for another year. They would rather pay £10 million in wages and lose the player on a free than spend an extra £20 million to sign a better player to replace them. Antony, who signed for Man Utd for £86 million in 2022, was branded a show pony by Chris Sutton at the end of the Premier League campaign. When asked who was the biggest flop of the season, Sutton replied, Antony actually made me look value for money. For the outlay on him, in terms of goals and assists, they just simply haven't been there. He is a show pony. That's what he is, and I think he's let Erik ten Hag down. Man Utd could be closing in on their third signing of the summer transfer window with the news that Man Utd have agreed personal terms with Paris Saint-Germain midfielder Manuel Ugarte. And now a report in Uruguay has claimed that Man Utd are set to make their first official offer for Ugarte and that he has said yes to the move. Jadon Sancho has sent a parting message to former Manchester United teammate Mason Greenwood. The Carrington Academy graduate completed his move to Marseille earlier this week after spending last season out on loan at Granada and is the biggest sale for Erik ten Hag so far this summer. Greenwood will bank United £26.6 million after he agreed to join Roberto De Zerbi's side. The club are expected to look for more exits across the board though in order to fund an ambitious summer window under Sir Jim Ratcliffe, Ineos, and the new sporting structure. Victor Lindelof is one who may well depart whilst Harry Maguire, Casemiro, Bruno Fernandes, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Scott McTominay, and Marcus Rashford, among others, have also been linked with an exit. Sancho, who spent the second half of last season at Borussia Dortmund, had been expected to be one of those on their way out. However, having returned to Manchester for pre-season training, the Englishman has been offered a route back into the side. Speaking in the second week of preparations ahead of the tour to America, Ten Hag opened up on his new stance. As we said, we draw the line, the boss said. Manchester United need good players and Jadon is a good player. We have drawn that line and we move on. The pair had fallen out at the start of last season after Ten Hag publicly criticized Sancho's efforts in training, to which the former Manchester City Academy man hit back online. The relationship appeared to have been broken, but now Sancho has a way in. Unlike Greenwood, who the club explained, it would be most appropriate for him to move on from Old Trafford. Other previous teammates, Angel Gomes, Anthony Elanga, and Shola Shoretire all sent him positive messages too. Greenwood and Sancho played 14 times together for United, all in the 2021-22 season.